Riverhead Lockdown Theatre Company presents the nation's best-loved bumbling Bobby, Detective Stephen Harding, in the first episode of the eagerly anticipated serial, Murder on the Oriental Princess. The location, a luxury cruise liner in the Atlantic, setting off from Southampton and turning left at the first oil slick.
I'm Harding, Detective Steve Harding. I was deep undercover with my secretary, Miss Goodthighs, when my boss thought it was time I got back to work. The last 6 weeks, I've been moonlighting as a personal assistant to the uber-wealthy Gus Garcia. I'm determined to find out exactly what Mr. Garcia dabbles in. Are all his business affairs purely that? Or has he indeed been giving his affairs the business? I'm accompanying Mr. Garcia on a cruise. The ship, the Oriental Princess, is the epitome of luxury. They've even windscreen wipers on the portholes. I'm writing this log in the Swedish massage parlour to avoid detection, which is proving difficult as my hands are all clammy, but my nib is drying up. I'm working under the alias Clive Dempsey. Mr. Garcia was slightly suspicious at the initial job interview. I had to fabricate some pretty impressive credentials, but I hope to claim the tax back from the plastic surgeon come April.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. Welcome aboard the Oriental Princess. As we set sail, please feel free to explore your deck, meet your fellow passengers, and do not hesitate to ask a member of staff if there is anything you need. Thank you, and have a pleasant journey.
Welcome to the first class dining salon. My name is Marie, and I am your waitress for this evening. The a la carte menu can be found on the tables, and I shall come round shortly to take your orders. In the meantime, please peruse the prints of famous artworks on the wall of our beautiful Grand Palace dining salon. Poppy, what are you doing in here? Chambermaids aren't allowed in the dining salon.
I was passing the door. Your uniform needed a bit of adjusting.
Really?
I should have been a lady's maid rather than a chambermaid.
Oh, thank you, Poppy. What would I do without you?
I dread to think. Remember, you're in the first class suite now.
Not likely to forget, am I? There's more mirrors lining these walls than there's amusement arcades in Blackpool.
Well, don't let that intimidate you. Remember, just because they've paid more, it doesn't make their money worth any more than the other decks.
What'd you say?
Decks.
Oh, beg your pardon.
See that swish American over there? Mr. Garcia. Excruciatingly rich, serial husband. That's his fourth wife with him. Daisy. I'm glad I only have to clean their rooms. I'd never managed to be civil to his sort. Entrepreneurial prig.
What did you say?
Prig.
Oh, beg your pardon.
Rumours are the marriage is on the rocks. I mean, just what do women see in him?
I wonder if he's looking for wife number 5.
You dare, and I'll put your dress back in your knickers.
You are a dafty. I'll see you later.
Just remember, keep your nose clean and you could be working on this deck full time. Not only do you get better food, but you also get bigger tips.
What did you say?
Tips!
Oh, beg your pardon.
While Mr. Garcia and his wife were browsing the artwork adorning the room, I was trying to do some detective work on the other guests we'd be dining with.
Oh, look at the artwork, Father James. It's clearly the artist in his blue period. Look at the structure of the sky, so turbulent and dark. It makes you wonder what was happening in his mind.
Quite esoteric, Mary. When I was on a religious retreat, we did painting as an expression of our feelings towards the Almighty.
Codswallop. Some rich biddy commissioned a picture for her wall with a stormy sky, and the painter needed the dough.
That's a rather cynical view, mister.
Gus Garcia, honeymooning with wife number 4.
Mary Jones, nice to meet you. This is Father Clanger.
Clanger. Say, that name rings a bell. Hey, wait a minute. I got it. Father James Clanger, of course. Sorry I didn't recognize you without the cuffs. Hey, Daisy, come over here and say hi, honey.
Hi, honey.
Come and look at these doodles, honey.
Oh, look at this one. It's daisies.
Sunflowers.
Look, if my wife says they're daisies, they're daisies.
Oh, why don't you do what you always do and just buy the painting for her, Mr. Garcia? Then it positively will be daisies.
If that wasn't such a good idea, I'd take you outside for a bunch of fives.
What would that do? He doesn't even like bananas. Do, Father?
Do you like the painting that much, darling?
Oh, Gussie, it's just adorable.
Just like you, sweet peach.
I should be delighted to escort you to your seat, Mary.
How kind.
And Mr. Garcia, I should be delighted if you find your own way.
Oh, Clive, can I sit between you and Gus, my favourite guys?
A pleasure, Daisy. Anything for the boss's favourite girl.
You know these people?
Ha! Know us? He's practically the spare wheel. Clive, let me introduce our fellow diners. This is Father James.
Oh, Gus, I had no idea your dear old daddy was joining us on this little old boat.
Cruise liner, dear. And do you think my pa would be a priest?
Please, if you don't mind, I'm trying to be inconspicuous.
Inconspicuous? Wearing that ridiculous getup? Good luck with that.
Your face does look rather familiar, Father.
Come on, Clive. He was all over the front pages last summer. Clanger drops a clanger. What the clergy get up to underneath their cassocks.
Please, I'd much rather put all of that behind me.
Boy, he even remembers what he said.
Oh, Gus, you're such a scream. This is going to be so much fun. I just love this little old yacht.
Cruise liner, dear.
Traveling on your lonesome, or do you have a sweet fella stashed somewhere?
No, definitely on my own. I prefer it that way.
Gee, why? You want to have a good time, don't you?
I do not need a man to have a good time, thank you.
Oh, so you're a lesbian.
Certainly not. I simply mean that I tend to have a quiet, fornication-free holiday.
Don't you worry, Miss Jones. I'm sure nobody will be disturbing you.
What you need, Mary, is some decent stylish clothes and a slap.
I think you mean a bit of slap, Mrs. Garcia.
She knows what she means.
If you must know, this holiday is supposed to be a fresh start. You see, I lost my mother.
Have you tried the bar? My mum is always propping up a bar.
I think Miss Jones means she died, Daisy.
Oh, gee, I do hope she'll be okay.
I miss her every day and praise she'll be happy in heaven.
Now then, let's not get maudlin. A toast. Where's that waitress gone? Ah, over here, gal.
Yes, sir. Poppy, what are you doing here? You can't sit there.
But
Why can't she?
It's reserved for passengers. If anyone sees that I've let her sit there, he'll give us both the sack.
Of course she can sit there. That's a goddamn name on the card, isn't it?
Come on, Poppy. You're creating a scene.
take your hands off me.
Poppy.
Yes, of course. Oh, I'm so sorry, madam.
You will be.
It's just that you're the spitting image of my friend. She also works on this cruise.
You think that's a good enough excuse?
Now come along, Mr. Garcia. No harm done.
That's what you think. My wife is a very fragile woman. How could we tell?
Can I get you something, sir?
Forget it. I was going to ask you to pour the wine, but I don't think I'll chance it.
Don't worry. Marie, is it?
Yes. Sorry, sir. It's just that I've just been reassigned to work on this top deck. I would have been out of a job if Poppy hadn't stepped in.
Poppy?
The chambermaid. She tidies the chalets and helps with the bed linen. She's got the sheets.
I'm not surprised. The complimentary vol-au-vents when we boarded were disgusting.
Thank you, waitress. That will be all.
Yes, sir.
Now, where were we? Ah, yeah, a toast to Mary's good old mom, wherever she is. May she be having a right old knees up. And to everyone else, up yours too.
I've often wondered, what is it that you business-headed people do?
Do? We don't do anything, James. We just have the guts to make the odd outrageous decision. It's nothing difficult. I just like to have my fingers in everywhere, don't I, sweet pea?
He sure does.
Everything from racehorses to drugs companies. If I were to show you my bulging portfolio, Miss Jones, well, it would take your breath away.
Drugs company. Which one?
Gee, I don't know. Clive? What was the name of that drugs corporation?
Pharmacia.
Pharmacia.
Specializes in the hearing of the agricultural population. Farmers? Ear? Get it? It's a work in progress. All that in 5 years. Add to that a succession of wives. First 3 were just in it to see what they could get out of me, but I showed them. I had my solicitor draw up prenup stronger than a nun's chastity belt. Daisy here is different, though. Doubt she can even write her name on a contract. But she's just the prettiest darn thing, and I just love splashing money on her.
Aw, thanks, sweetie.
Of course, it's often quoted that money doesn't buy you love.
Nope, but it puts you in a great bargaining position.
If you will excuse me, I think I'll go and freshen up.
Sure, you go freshen up. When you gotta go. I'm surprised she can squeeze anything out. She's as dry as a ship's biscuit.
As Mr. Garcia continued to bore his table guests, my attention is drawn to the other table in the dining salon. To my surprise, I find one of Gus's main business rivals. I think it deserves some minor investigation. I mingled among them as they took to admiring the artwork.
They certainly have some top-class art here, Mother. Look at this wonderful work by one of the masters. Don't you agree, Charles, Tiffany?
So, what are these paintings then?
It's wonderful, isn't it, Freddie? Clearly a Van Gogh.
Pardon?
He said Van Gogh.
Van Gogh.
For starters or desserts?
What?
Mangoes!
Go!
I've only just got here!
You know, the artist with one ear.
Eh?
One ear!
That's not true! They're just a little worn out.
Good evening. Admiring the artwork?
We're trying to.
Not bad, is it? My boss has just acquired a Monet for the office. He sends his regards, by the way, Mr. Bassett.
Oh, you recognise me, do you? It happens, of course. Do I know your boss, then?
If you don't, you soon will. Got the loudest voice in Texas, which I'm sure you'll agree is up against some pretty stiff competition. He's sat at the adjoining table.
Oh, I don't believe it. Gus Garcia.
Small world, isn't it? Anyway, lovely to meet you all. Best be getting back to my table.
If I'd known that buffoon Garcia was going to be on this ship, I'd have stayed in Southampton. If I could swim, I'd jump overboard.
Who scored?
Never mind, Mother. Do you want a drink?
Abandon ship! Abandon ship!
Oh, shush. Where's your ear trumpet? Oh, do you want a drink?
I think I need one. What were you, scaring me half to death?
Chance would be a fine thing.
Pardon?
Champagne would be the thing. Excuse me, waitress. Bottle of the Dom Perignon, please.
Certainly, sir. How many glasses?
3'll do. All right, four glasses. Sometimes, Mother, I swear it's just selective hearing.
Oh, fancy you noticing them, Freddie.
Your champagne, sir.
Ooh, champers. Never could resist the foam after the cork's been popped.
I used to be showered in the stuff back in the day.
Now it's Lambrusco Bianco if you're lucky.
Snob.
Has been.
Prig.
Antediluvian.
Diva.
Why, thank you.
Kids! Kids!
Your champagne, Mr. Bassett.
Thank you, waitress. Put it on my bill.
But, Mr. Bassett, it's all inclusive.
I know. Put it on my bill.
Such a good boy. He's really taken care of me since his father died. Brought me along on this cruise to cheer me up.
Very decent of him.
Well, the funeral bill was so extortionate, completely wiped out her bingo allowance.
Surely your husband passing away brought a lump to your throat, though.
Well, not really one for holidaying alone, I suppose. Hence why I invited you along, Charlie.
I shall have to return the favour.
Though why you invited Tiffany, I've no idea. The pair of you moping around with faces like sacks of marbles.
We've had a lot of bad luck recently. Isn't that right, Tiff?
Rather. I'm looking at it right now.
Let no one ever tell you that you're a sore loser, Tiffany. If I've told you once, I've told you 1,000 times. You're all washed up, love. You need to change your image. And as for you, Charlie, if I'd known you were going to be such a miserable old scrot, I doubt I would have paid for you to come along.
Have a little sympathy, Fred. His boyfriend's become a pop star. Only last week.
Oh, come off it, Tiff. In this industry, rubbish like that happens all the time.
How could he leave me, a renowned classical pianist, to dabble in pop music?
He dribbled her what?
All right, Charlie, keep your wig on. It was that Garcia who signed him, not me. This cruise is meant to get us all away from the music industry after all.
That's why I thought there'd be no harm in bringing our has-been friend here.
Do you mind? I didn't ask to share a table with you anyway. I asked to be on Gus's table.
You mean you knew you were on the same cruise as Gus?
Of course! You don't think I'll throw away my life savings to sit here and stare at your ugly old mug, do you?
You take that back, young lady. My Freddie is not old.
Mother, I think you've had quite enough of that champagne, don't you?
Gus is lovely. If only I could get to talk to him. He'll see I'm an opportunity not to be missed.
I've hardly taken a sip. I'm not pissed.
Oh, Tiffany, what makes you think Gus will give you the time of day?
I have my ways and means. Perhaps I could swap with that vicar over there.
Oh, yes, that's a good idea. And I could have a go at defrocking him.
You two do what you want. Come on, Ma, bedtime for you.
But I haven't had my supper yet.
Actions speak louder than words, Mother. Come on. If you fancy it later on, we'll send for a girl.
Sounds like a pretty loose living you have, Frederick.
Room service. Should I want a nibble? Come along, Mother.
Come on, Tiff. Let's have a little bit of fun before the food arrives. I'll squeeze that third-grade pianist off the stool and play you some proper music.
My repertoire these days is all ballads.
So I've heard, dear, but you can try at least.
After dining, the guests relaxed before exchanging pleasantries and retiring. But for some reason, as I lay in my cabin bunk, I was on edge. Serves me right for leaving my suitcase on the bed next to me. Before long, I dropped off.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We've had a great day sailing, and now it's time to relax and be merry, enjoy your second evening dinner, and then the entertainment. And for all you music lovers, leave your request for the pianist in the first class lounge.
If it's the same pianist as last night, I certainly have a request for him.
Father, really?
I beg your pardon, Mary, but I do feel his rendition of I've Got That Sinking Feeling was rather misguided.
We meet again, Mary. Father, another day, another dinner.
Say, haven't seen my gorgeous gal, have you? Ah, there you are, Tuppence. You've been the missing link for most of the day.
Just, perusing the ship.
Perusing, eh? Look who's swallowed a dictionary. Say, where's that useless waitress with the drinks?
A little harsh, don't you think?
Gee, Clive, that's quite a crimson you've gone. Not stuck on that dame, are you?
Not at all. I'll just go see if I can hurry her along. You okay, Marie?
Yes, thank you. Just hoping I've still got a job when we get back to Southampton. I keep messing things up. Only this morning I dropped my phone into the sea. I was trying to get a better signal and something made me jump and, well, in it went.
Well, that's one way to get it to sink.
Waitress! Drinks!
Be right with you!
Can I give you a hand with that tray?
Oh, that's quite unnecessary.
Oh, please. I insist.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Quite all right. They weren't my best pair of trousers.
Let me clean it up for you. I have a napkin. It only needs a dab here.
Well...
And there.
Oh, no, please, it's quite all right. Well, perhaps just a little bit. It was good of Marie to give me a hand with a sticky situation, and not for the first time. Meanwhile, the other table of guests were making their choices from the a la carte menu.
Bouillabaisse, escargot, or pâté de foie gras to start, mother.
Eh?
Soup, snails, or meat paste, dear?
Oh. Salad, please, Charles.
Mains, risotto a la Mediterranean, salmon en croûte or tavok sis.
Eh?
Rice, fish, or chicken?
Beef.
I'm gonna have the fish.
What do you wish for, dear?
The fish!
No need to shout, dear.
Can I take your order, Mrs. Bassett?
Shall have the soup followed by the chicken, please.
No, dear. Salad and beef.
They haven't got salad or beef. I've ordered the same as me.
Oh, just order me the same as you.
I'll get these orders to the kitchen straight away.
I hope you don't mind, Marie, but I've taken the liberty of getting the orders from Mr. Garcia's table. Here they are.
Oh, thank you.
How long do you think the dinner will be?
3 plates load, I imagine. Shan't be long.
Clive, I don't pay you to stand there swooning at the waitresses.
Sorry, Mr. Garcia. All sorted. The starters will be here soon.
About time, too. I'm so hungry I could eat a whale.
Jesus Christ!
Marie!
What happened?
It came from the kitchen.
What now? More delays? Hang on a minute, Clive. I'm right behind you.
Off he goes, no doubt in search of a shovel to dig up some more dirt.
I don't think they'll have a shovel in the kitchen, Father.
He's been jibing at me ever since we left port. On the loungers, in the casino. He even poo-pooed me on the poop deck.
Father, please, remember Matthew 6:14.
I never touched him. I'm sorry, but I shunned my family fortune to answer my clerical calling, and that Gus is trying to ruin it all with his slanderous tittle-tattle.
Come through here, Marie. Put all your weight on me, that's it.
Here, take my chair, honey. Try to calm down. You'll look quite a sight.
Yes, big breaths. I mean, big breaths. Gus, pass me that drink. Gus?
Are you okay, Gussie?
He's had quite a shock. Get him a brandy from the bar. Gus, sit down.
What happened back there?
We have a right to know.
Here, Gussie, get this down you.
It's horrible. Horrible.
I know, darling, but they're fresh out of bourbon.
What has happened in the kitchen?
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my grave duty to tell you all that a body has been found aboard the ship.
Fred, who is that man, and why does he need a whip?
No, Mother. Someone's been found dead.
Not being fed? But I'm starving. doing?
Oh, shush, Mother, please.
The chambermaid has been found dead in a storage cupboard.
Dead? But she was only young, wasn't she?
Suicide, I should imagine. Or a drugs overdose. Or suicide after her lover jilted her. Or a crippling bankruptcy. Or...
I think you're letting your imagination run away with you, sir.
Oh, Poppy, whoever did this to you?
Just a moment. Just a moment. Here, you, Clive, or whatever your name is. How come you're taking charge?
Well, I guess my cover's been blown now. I am not Clive Dempsey. It's Harding. Detective Stephen Harding. I work in the Division of Police investigating serious swindles perpetrated on taxation.
Detective Stephen Harding. The Detective Stephen Harding.
The same.
Police investigating serious swindles perpetrated on taxation? And who gave you that acronym?
Sorry,
Well, piss pot.
never noticed that before. Must be a discrepancy on the chief's part.
Chief?
My boss. He named the department.
Do you think it was murder?
Oh, no, he finds it quite easy to name the departments.
I meant the maid.
I'm afraid I can't tell you anything which you don't already know. Suffice to say that the presence of a knife through the victim's chest does seem to point to that conclusion.
Bloody hell. A knife?
Shit! Shouldn't have told you that.
Pity it wasn't Gus.
Excuse me, sir.
No wonder it caused a fuss.
Wait a minute. What kind of fool do you take me for? Taxation? Give me one good reason why I shouldn't land you one right on the...
It's true. I've been working undercover, investigating your tax affairs, Mr. Garcia.
How dare you? I'm going to report you to the police.
He is the police, you idiot.
If you could all make your way to your cabins, your meals will be delivered and I'll start an investigation tomorrow.
I say, hang on a moment. You mean to say we're all allowed to go?
Look at it this way, Mr.
Alcock. Charles Stranger Alcock.
Stranger.
His mother wanted him to be named after his father.
Mr. Alcock, if any of you did decide to abandon ship, then we'd have a pretty clear idea of who the murderer is, wouldn't we?
Do you think you should perform the last rites, Father?
Isn't it a bit late for that?
I'm sorry, nobody can go near the body. The service will be held as soon as we've checked for evidence. Mr. Garcia, you were one of the first on the scene. Describe what you saw.
It was horrible. She was stark naked, and there was this big weapon hanging out.
I thought that's how you liked your women.
I prefer a pulse.
Stark naked, eh? And how would you know this, Mr. Garcia? Perhaps caught in collusion, a woman scorned. She threatened to reveal your lascivious affairs, and in a moment of sheer enraged passion, you...
Just a minute, for God's sake. I ran in there after you, remember?
So you're saying I did it then? Aha! Now we're getting somewhere.
Come on, Gus. Let's get you back to the cabin. You've had such a huge shock.
But Daisy, you don't understand. I thought, she looked like...
Come on. You'll feel better. I'm sure the tax inspector can question us tomorrow.
I am not a tax inspector. I am a private dick.
Well, you said it, Buster.
The guests were clearly disgruntled and on edge as they made their way to their rooms. To make sure the murderer couldn't strike again, I locked each of the suspects in their respective cabins. Fred Bassett protested that his mother might need to visit the little girl's room during the night, so I locked her in there instead. I then returned to the bar to calm down the naturally perturbed waitress, Marie. Come, I'll escort you back to your room, Marie. You need some rest.
Won't you be joining me? In some rest, I mean.
A detective's work is never done, my dear.
Well, can I help?
I'm not sure that's a good idea. Inspector Rogers wouldn't like it.
I thought everyone's innocent until proven guilty.
The country would be in a right mess if we operated like that now, wouldn't it?
Please, Clive. Steve. She was my best friend on this boat. I simply wouldn't rest until I found out who did it.
Well, I could make an exception. as long as you do exactly what I say. Now, let's think. Whoever perpetrated this must have been the height of intellect. Here, take notes, Marie.
Take them where?
Marie, you're off the hook.
Detective Harding has been undercover and is back on the case. With so many holidaymakers with an axe to grind for Mr. Garcia, why should the hapless maid Poppy be the victim? Discovered with a knife through her chest on the first-class deck on board the luxury cruise liner. Tune in for the second enthralling installment of Murder on the Oriental Princess.